Welcome back to Movie Moshow. Today we are going to preview the science fiction film, Jack Brooks, Monster Slayer. If you like our content, don't forget to like and subscribe. We post multiple times daily. Spoilers ahead. A flashback of the events leading up to this is shown as the movie opens with a giant cyclops attacking a town in Africa and a monster hunter getting ready to step in. Jack Brooks is forced to flee and hide as a child after witnessing his sister, mother, and father being attacked and killed by a woodland troll when the family is camping. As a result, adult Jack has uncontrollable rage issues and a very short temper, which frustrates his psychotherapist and alienates his impatient and irritable girlfriend Eve. Eve is also Jack's classmate in the night school that Professor Crowley is teaching. Jack frequently arrives late for class and only stays for the final demonstration of a chemical reaction between sodium metal and water, which results in a little explosion with just a small portion chopped off of a larger block. Working as a plumber, Jack accepts Professor Crowley's offer to assist him in clearing a blockage in the pipes of his recently purchased home. The attempt is unsuccessful and leads in Jack being hurt, but it also unearths something hidden in the backyard of the house. While Professor Crowley is possessed by an enigmatic force and spends the night using only his bare hands to excavate in the backyard, Jack departs to order a new part. Indulging in morbid curiosity after waking up in the morning with no memory of what happened the previous night, Crowley digs up a sizable box containing human bones and what appears to be an entire heart using a shovel. While ordering the spare part, Jack runs into an elderly guy named Howard who is working at the hardware store. Howard cautions Jack about the perils of the old, curse-filled house and asks him to return the following day when the component would arrive so that he may explain the meaning of his cryptic warning. Professor Crowley notices the heart is still beating in the meantime, but it then pushes its way into his mouth and down his throat. After waking up from the shock, he ravenously consumes the meat in his refrigerator and arrives at class looking unput together. He dismisses the class after attempting to speak incoherently, throwing up, and claiming to be starving. He runs out of meat when he gets home, so he kills and consumes his pet dog. When Jack goes back to the hardware store, Howard tells him the tale of his boyhood spent living in Crowley's house with his uncle Emmett, an antiquities collector, and how the heart, a prize from a fabled conflict with a real-life monster, came into his possession. Emmett, like Crowley, gave in to its captivity and devoured the heart, progressively transforming himself into a raving madman who, after devouring his dog, bit young Howard's hand and forced the child to kill him in self-defense. He buries his uncle and tells Jack not to go near the house after observing that he could still hear the heart beating. Despite his own encounters with monsters, Jack dismisses him and returns to class. After flirting with another student and growing resentful of the attention one of their classmates is giving Eve, Jack and Eve are about to break up just before class when Professor Crowley, now visibly swollen and untidy, fully transforms into a monster, capturing nearly every one of their classmates as Jack and Eve assist an injured classmate out of the room and barricade themselves in a different area. Over the course of the film, 5 of their classmates are transformed into troll-like monster thralls by Crowley, who has grown obscenely big and misshapen. As his main body is immobile, he accomplishes this by flooding them with a black liquid through a tongue-like proboscis that protrudes from his mouth and sending them off to find the escapees. Jack and Eve are unable to save their injured classmate and a janitor when the monstrous minions assault and devour the janitor while dragging the injured classmate away. The two flee the school in Jack's van using the monsters feeding on the victims as a diversion. But when the song his parents were dancing to on the night of their deaths comes on the radio, Jack realizes he can't run away again. Having felt helpless as a child and not being able to forgive himself for being powerless to do anything to save his family, Jack sees this as his chance to do something about the monsters that have followed him around all his life. He forces Eve out of the van when she refused to cooperate, then he leaves for the school with his plumbing supplies. After killing 2 of the monsters without getting hurt, Jack is bitten by a third and is then attacked by the injured classmate who has turned into a monster, but he manages to defeat them. He then confronts Crowley in the classroom after slaying a final minion who had just been transformed. Jack grabs the jar containing the complete block of sodium metal from Crowley's lesson days before and throws it into Crowley's mouth, blowing Crowley's head off because he can't get close enough to fight because of Crowley's tentacles. Despite being headless, Monster Crowley's body is still alive, and another tentacle ambushes Jack as a result. By using the fire axe to sever the monster's heart, Jack kills the menace once and for all. After saving the other students in the class and winning over the affection of the classmate he had previously flirted with, Jack experiences a realization and returns to the forest where he lost his family. There, he kills the troll who kidnapped him and begins a new career as a monster hunter, setting up the opening scene in which he defeats the Cyclops in the African village. Thank you for watching and don't forget to like and subscribe.